Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Gray, and we're just plain living here.
Good morning. I'm Peggy Burton.
And I'm Jim Fuller.
How are y'all in the rain? Did you just come rowing in?
Rode in, yeah.
It makes it for a nice, cool day, though.
Oh, I know. It's beautiful. I couldn't get over it. It was really felt good this morning.
Supposed to be lovely for the next couple of days.
Well, I hope so.
Temperature's going to be cool, and it'll be perfect for the ice cream social on Thursday night. I think it's supposed to be like 80 degrees that day, and down to the sunshine, and I think it's going to be in the high 60s or low 70s that night. It'll be great. It'll be fantastic.
It'll be fun.
And that's at South Jackson Civic Center.
Right.
On the lawn out front. Bring your chairs, bring your whatever you want to bring.
What time does it start, Peggy?
Well, at 7 o'clock, Valerie Lawrence is going to teach a swing dance class, and then we start playing at 7:30.
I see.
Ice cream for everybody. You can't beat that for $10.
$10. Get some music, some ice cream. Come dance.
Come sit. Come listen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a wonderful
Bring your
event.
mom and them. Good time to have.
I love that. I love that expression, baby.
I do too. Bring your mom and them.
Bring your mom and them. That's right.
Let's squeak.
I wish I could.
Yeah.
I do too. I do too. God, it's been a long time.
Wish I could.
Really wish I could. I wanted to say happy birthday to Luella Pyle.
Luella Pyle.
Recently.
Absolutely.
She had a birthday, and a wonderful lady and a wonderful legacy her husband has left in this community.
Well, and Luella as well.
And Luella too, yeah. I just
102.
Paul used to make all these dulcimers, and we had a dulcimer society going on.
Great photographer.
Oh, yeah. Could do all, and not all that after he retired. So.
And right down the road here from us is where Rock Creek goes under the Lynchburg Highway. That's the Paul and Luella Pyle Bridge.
It is, yes.
That's right.
So it was named after them, and very well
happy
deserved.
Birthday.
Yeah.
Was Paul and Bob Couch, were they about the same age?
No, Paul's a little bit older than
Was
Bob.
he?
Yeah, not a whole lot, but a little bit.
It's amazing.
But they were fierce friends.
Yeah, right.
Wonderful man, both of them.
Friends.
Wonderful men.
You know, we complain sometimes. We don't complain, but I hear people sort of complain a little bit that, Shelbyville's got the walking horse industry and the walking horse celebration, and Manchester has Bonnaroo, and what does Tullahoma have?
Tullahoma has it all.
and we do, but Paul Pyle started something
he really
30
did.
years ago when he was making dulcimers and started having the Dulcimer Festival here.
Right.
And it grew to a point that there was a couple hundred people showing up for that. There's not one in the world anywhere. There were people coming from Europe to come to the Dulcimer Festival in Tullahoma. Think how big that would be right now.
Oh, yeah.
There could be thousands of people coming if it would have been embraced by somebody, but it wasn't. It was, once Paul died, it just sort of went away, and I just wish someone would have continued that, because it could have been a huge event by now.
I agree. I bet it's so hard to keep a big festival going.
Oh yeah, it is.
Of that sort. We had a Celtic festival going for a while.
People get tired. People get tired of doing it. It's hard to get somebody to take the baton.
It's hard to find that leader that's going to take the baton and push it through. And direct it till it's done. So. Anyway.
Just sort of like 40 years of a country show.
Right? Did you ever play a dulcimer?
No.
It's a neat instrument.
It's what, 4 strings?
I think, maybe it varies.
Yeah.
I have one at the house.
We did a number of stories on Paul's work. Building.
If I'm not mistaken, your church, don't they have a dulcimer group?
Oh yes. Oh yeah. They have a huge dulcimer, and then there's the hammer dulcimer.
I love that.
That's sort of a triangle that you play with. The drumsticks that have a little with fuzz on the end of them.
many strings.
Right. Oh yeah. Heavens yes. So
I think in my head, it reminds me of a harp in the complexity of it. But
and then we had a gentleman at church last year, Bing Futch.
I remember. I saw
he's the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life, and he is a dulcimer master. He's won world championships and he played everything from Sweet Home Alabama and what's the other one that everybody, Freebird to Chopin.
I wish I
mean, it was.
I'm really sorry I missed that.
It was just it's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Well, it's wonderful what
And he had a
small
dulcimer with
instrument
2
can
necks
do.
on it.
Yeah.
You know, it was just phenomenal. He was just phenomenal.
Anyway, happy birthday, Luella.
Sweet Home Alabama on the dulcimer.
Oh no, well, and Freebird.
Yeah, and Freebird.
Freebird.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was incredible. He was incredible.
He was incredible. And if you have a dulcimer, you can still go to your church, can't you? And
Yeah, we have a group
join the
over at
group?
First Christian Church at Rita Best, and there's Bob Lamoya, and they also have a ukulele bunch.
I love that. Too.
Yeah, they have a bunch that does all kinds of stringed instruments.
I think the beauty of that is it's such a great thing to do in your spare time is to play an instrument.
Oh, yeah.
Do some music. Don't be whining on the street corner.
Yeah.
You know, and that bunch goes over to, some of them go to Life Care Center one day a week and go over there and play in the day room,
Which
and
is
people
wonderful.
come and listen to them play and sing, and it's given.
Yeah. There's a lot
It's
of people
people
giving in this
giving,
community
you know?
in
Yeah.
different ways.
And reaching out to other people who maybe aren't quite as fortunate or need a boost, you know, feeling bad, not
yeah.
in bad health, and it's always good
always good to have a
listen to
little
music and have an animal around.
Yeah, that's right.
I know. I saw a small pig on Facebook this morning. I would like to have had that little guy.
You want that little
It
pig?
was about this long, yeah.
It's
Guess
pretty-
what? He probably wouldn't stay that long.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he's big as that flat screen TV.
I know.
out
I
there.
know.
You know, it's pretty cool that nursing homes and facilities like that, rehab facilities, and these days they embrace bringing cats and dogs
Oh yeah.
I know.
into
And
their facility.
I can guarantee you that it makes a difference. My grandmother, who had a disease that caused her to lose both her legs, she could no longer talk, but she had the cat, Charlie, and he'd sit on her chest. And that was a blessing to me because
Oh,
you could
yeah.
see her smile and you knew she felt a heartbeat
Yeah.
there. Anyway, animals, special. Go to the animal shelter and get yourself an animal.
And speaking about birthdays, I want to wish Miss Mildred a happy birthday. She's 93, and she's one of our customers from Manchester that buys our Tennessee Traveler stuff. And she calls in. She's the sweetest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And she'll buy them, and I'll say, "Now, Miss Mildred, you just bought one last week of that." And she said, "Well, I know, but I'm not going to use it. I'm giving it to somebody."
Sweet.
And she'll buy them and take them to bingo and give them to people at
Right.
bingo and stuff. And I said, "Well, you sure are good, sounding good for 93." And I said, "What you been doing?" And she said, "Well, I've been shelling beans all day, and I clean my house, and I wash dishes, and I iron clothes." And she said, "It takes me all day what I used to could do in a couple of hours," but she said, "I still do all of it."
That's great.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, and it's great
Yeah.
for her, and she's a sweet lady, and she's a pleasure to do business with. So I just want to wish Miss Mildred a happy birthday as well.
You know, Miss Ameline, that's Jolene Ameline's mother.
Uh-huh.
She's very active. I don't know how old she is. It has to be close to 90.
Oh, yeah.
And
She still sings in the choir to church.
yeah, that's right. And you know, and dances with all these.
Yeah, she's
line
fun.
dances.
Love it. Yeah,
unre-
that's great.
Unbelievable. Yeah, yeah,
Well, it keeps you young.
yeah.
Why don't you dance? Just
Well,
dance.
that's why they need to come to the ice cream
Ice cream
social
social.
and
Dance.
It is important.
You know, and that's something that not enough people, you know, we all move forward at some point or another by pulling a tool out of your toolbox.
Yeah.
It might be the ability to speak. It might be the ability to sing. It might be the ability to fix a car. And it might be the ability to dance. When you just can't think of anything else to do, you need to know how to dance.
Well,
Just dance
you
and
need to know-
jig.
you need
Just
to dance
and
anyway,
jig.
whether you know how to do anything
well, that's
else
what
or
I
not,
mean.
yeah.
Just dance and jig because it makes you feel good and it makes everybody around you feel
That's
good.
right.
Dance.
Just
I hope you dance. I wish I'd have
I
written
always
that
loved
one.
that too. I know. I think that was a great song.
It was.
I always found it interesting when I was in the bar business that people would come there because we had live entertainment, and the guys would be out there just wearing out the dance floor until they got hooked up with a girl, and then they might get married or got going, and then they quit dancing.
Then they quit dancing. That's
Yeah, it's like,
ridiculous. That's
I
when
never-
you really should start dancing, because
Yeah,
you're going
right.
to find yourself
Right.
wanting to kill somebody, so you go dance.
Right.
What was that
I don't
song
know.
I wrote? I'm a typical man. I'm a typical man. I am one. It's hard to know whether to love or damn one. Honey, there was a time that you just had to be mine. Try to remember if you can, because all the things that you loved that get under your skin are the same you loved back when you
Back
fell
when
in
you
love
fell
with a
in love.
typical man. Because they fall in love with you kind of because you're on the edge.
Think they can
Everybody
fix
likes
you.
that little bad boy just a touch because they want to fix you. Then they marry you and then they won't change everything that attracted you
That's
to.
right.
Yeah, just a little marital advice. Don't try to fix anybody.
Right.
Fix yourself.
There you go, fix yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, this is a good one right here. Whether you win, lose, or draw, chronicle the event, because the track that carries us successfully into the future is history.
I love that. Chronicle the event.
Chronicle the event.
Regardless of what it is.
Doesn't make any difference.
If it was bad or good, it doesn't matter.
Because you learn something from it when you look back at it.
That's right. Yeah.
People that don't learn from something
Yeah.
just don't learn, do they?
That's it.
You know,
That's right.
and it's kind of sad. People are always trying to put their experience into the head of their children. You
Yeah.
cannot do it. They have to have their own
They have to
experiences.
have their own
That's
experience.
all there is to it.
And I heard a thing on the Today Show last week. I know we're just about out of time, about a mother, and they had some specialist in there, and her question was, she was in the audience and said, you know, I love my daughter. My daughter's 21, 2, 3 years old, and I love it when she calls me. But when she calls me and asks me advice, I think it's time. She's a smart young lady, and I want to tell her, honey, you know, I've already taught you all I know. It's time for you to make your
Yeah.
own decisions. But I don't want to push her away because I don't want her to stop calling me.
Right.
But that's something that's true. You know, when you're young people, you've given them what you have to give them. Then you know, let them spread their wings
I
and
agree.
fly.
I totally
Don't try to
agree.
control them.
My parents didn't try to control me.
Nobody could control
they
you,
couldn't.
Peggy.
That's right.
They couldn't control you by the time you were about 10, probably.
Well, Ralph controlled her pretty well, I think, you know. One of my favorite Peggy
No,
stories is when she was fussing at Ralph because everybody watched TV and nobody ever did anything around the house, and he picks up the TV and throws it in the closet and shuts the door. Okay, I fixed that. You know?
I love it. Ralph was the man.
He was a man of action.
He was a man of action, and
Absolutely.
so am I right now, because we're getting ready to go to commercial break. Don't you go away. We'll be back with a lot of good information for you on today's Just Plain Living.
The wait is finally over. The all-new redesigned Ford Ranger is back at Russell Barnett Ford of Tullahoma. Stop and test drive one today at Russell Barnett Ford of Tullahoma on Highway 55, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. And remember, my question is, why buy anywhere else?
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron and chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory and marching to the beat of your own drum. Memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live and play well.
Cool off at Southern Middle Tennessee's newest water park, Tullahoma's Splash Island. Fun for all ages. 3 25-foot water slides, lazy river, fun water features for toddlers, tasty food items available. All this and more, only $5 from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. or 4 to 9 p.m. Sundays, 1 to 6. Join the fun at Tullahoma's Splash Island.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're pleased to have joining us on the set now Robin Dunn, Tullahoma Alderman, who has always got something very, very interesting to talk about, and we're glad she could be here today. Robin, you've been Alderman for, what, 2 years now?
2 years,
2
yes.
years. So what do you think about the political arena after a couple of years?
I love being able to serve. I've really enjoyed just being able to work with the people within the city, and you know, people are making suggestions all the time. Hey, what if we tried this, or what if we did that? And it's been really fun to experiment and do different things and just be a part of it. So it's been a lot of fun. So
Yeah. Is it kind of like what you expected when you decided to run for office?
It's better than what I thought. Absolutely. So I've really just enjoyed being a part of it. But and we tried an experiment last week that I thought went really well. So we gave away 32 composters. We've got the new farmers market on Monday nights, and we just sent out a little text saying, hey, we've got composters that we're giving away, and, you know, first come, first serve. And this was all through a grant. None of this was paid for through local funds. This is with the Interlocal Solid Waste Authority. So Carol Fulmer and I came out there, and we had people, they were lined up, ready to go, and she had a whole trailer load of them. So with those 32 composters, we're looking at several thousand pounds of trash that we won't be seeing in our landfill. So we possibly saved the city, several $1,000s just in that one event.
Can you explain a little bit about what a composter does?
Sure. So you're pretty much your kitchen scraps that you don't need, you can put in the composter. So coffee grounds are great, tea bags are great, your vegetable clippings and the ends of the onion that you don't use, you just don't think about it, especially this time of year whenever you've got all those watermelons, you think about how much waste you're throwing out just from that. Those raw foods, eggshells, it can be really, really helpful, and people throw away somewhere around 250 pounds of food waste a year in America, so it's something that...
So the composter puts all that together, is that correct?
That's right. You just put it in your backyard and you let the nature take its course in that capacity. So in the landfill, though, because it's really so smashed so tightly, you don't have that natural breaking down of different materials. So the University of Missouri did a study several years ago where they dug into a landfill, and there were newspapers that were 50, 60 years old that they could read the print on it.
No kidding.
So I mean, it's just not breaking down once you get so far down, but the composter is doing its job. And we can do that in our own backyards, and I just want to encourage people to do that at home. So
if you had to buy a composter, what are you looking at?
If you bought one, you can spend all sorts of money on them. You can get ones that turn and everything. The composters that we're giving away are about $70 online, but they're still available at Public Works. And people can pick them up. They can just talk to Miss Jackie there at Public Works and get one and sign up for that program. So we want to encourage people to do that.
So I'm assuming then that the composting goes hand in hand with the recycling that I know you're very
Yes, and our recycling program is still working really well. We've got about a third of our communities doing it. Last year we had a cold call program where we just called different businesses and invited them to be a part of our recycling program. We got 20 new businesses signed up for our recycling program, so it's really, really nice to be a part of that. I don't know if you've seen the new window painting that Griffin Roan put together.
I have not.
So Griffin is Annie Roan's son, the Painted House, and he did a remarkable window painting. It's on City Hall. He partnered with Olivia Thomason, who's another artist. You guys have been talking about how important music and art is. She's in band camp right now, so she's a 9th grader this year. But she had this great idea of we need to remind people to reduce how much they're throwing out. So they brainstormed, and we worked together with the Go Green team team, and it's on City Hall right now just to remind people how important that is. So,
did you have this passion for the environment before you became Alderman Robin?
Well, I mean, to an extent. I mean, you know, but Lane Curley, you know, whenever I was elected, he said, "Hey, I've got a job for you. How would you like to head our Go Green group?" And I said, "All right, we'll do it." So, I mean, it's been really fun exploring all the different things that they do. But I mean, I've met so many people that have been way more passionate than I am, and it's been just absolutely very intriguing. And I think the latest thing that we're talking about is our stormwater, and how important it is that we, you know, we've had so many requirements for our businesses, but it's very important that individuals and homeowners take part in this. We are giving away 25 rain barrels at our next Go Green meeting, so that's going to be on August 5th at 5 o'clock at City Hall. That's through a partnership with the Duck River Agency. So again, this isn't through taxpayer money. This is something that these agencies are already doing, but I want it to be available to our citizens. And I talked to our stormwater engineer the other day, and I said, you know, let's just say, you know, that of the 10,000 residents that we have, what if everybody had a rain barrel? Are we really going to see a difference in the amount of water that's going onto our road? Are we really going to see a difference in that flash flooding and all that water sheeting off and all that? And he said, absolutely, without a doubt. Absolutely. If people properly maintain their rain barrels, then we could see a difference in how water runs in Tullahoma during a storm and during these emergency situations.
What exactly are you advocating when you ask them to have a rain barrel? I mean, you want them to use that water for something, I suppose.
Sure. Well, honestly, I mean, the easiest thing you can do, just like with the compost, yes, you can use it in your garden, and it can be extremely useful. The rain barrel can be extremely useful in watering your garden, in keeping your lawn watered. You can use it to wash your car. But if all you did was after a storm, you just emptied it out, you know, five hours after the storm is over, you are doing a huge service to the city, because the biggest concern is that first, you know, just like yesterday when it was just, you know, just flooding. I mean, not flooding, that's the wrong word, but just, it was just coming down in sheets.
Right.
To be able to, if you held, you know, 55 gallons at your house and 55 more gallons on your other part of your house, and your neighbor did the same thing, and then that neighbor did the same thing, we would see a difference in the amount of water that was coming within that first hour, and that's the most dangerous time. So it's mainly to keep just different impurities out of the streams, because it sheets off of the road, and you think about all the different heavy metals that are on the road, from gasoline and your motor oil and things, and it just, yeah, it helps to keep people from, you know, hydroplaning, all of that. So
and you know, it's really kind of interesting to me, and Peggy may remember this too, but when I was a kid, I lived with my grandmother, and we didn't have any electricity, and we lived in the country, and we used rain barrels to collect water that we used to bathe in and those kinds of things. And I guess she cooked with it, but you know, but we collected the rainwater to do that, and it was just part of life.
Well, it's interesting to me how many people have, you know, if they are in the situation where they have to be independent, they are. I mean, people are incredibly resourceful, and I've met a lot of people who've had, you know, cisterns and well water growing up and stuff. So yes, I mean, it's amazing if we've become very just, I don't know what the word is, but we are definitely pretty dependent on this fresh water that's coming into our sinks every day, and it's clean and it's fresh and it's excellently cleaned by our TUA, but yeah, we can do a lot just in our own backyard.
If you're interested in having a rain barrel, and you mentioned your goal is maybe to get 10,000 homes.
Oh, if we had 10,000, yes, that would be wonderful. Yeah. So if you are interested in getting a rain barrel or knowing more about it, please join us at City Hall, 5 o'clock on August 5th.
Okay.
We'll be talking more about it then. You can, but you don't have to. You know, I mean, you can certainly look it up on your own and do it completely independently. But we're just trying to create a network of people who are willing to support one another. So.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. Great plan, Robin.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
We always enjoy you coming by.
Well, I
Good
appreciate your
information.
time. Yes, sir. Thanks.
All right.
Yeah.
Folks, we'll be right back in just a moment.
Yep.
More living right after this.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Hi, I'm Cindy.
And I'm Jacob. I'm the Rooster.
And I'm the Red Mane. And we would like to welcome you to
Roosterwear.
Yes, Roosterwear is a cottage industry producing accessories for men, women, children, babies, and pets. All items are hand cut and sewn locally. Roosterwear specializes in bow ties, pocket squares, scarves, cufflinks, neckties, and aprons of all sizes for all ages. Baby products include onesies, diaper covers, bibs, and burp pads. All bow ties, tie it yourself or pre-tied, come with an adjustable neckband. All products can be made with the material of your choice, as special orders are available upon request. Don't be standing back looking at fashion. Create your own with Roosterwear.
come visit us at
roosterandredmaiden.com.
to find our handcrafted designs for
The Cock of the Walk.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
You know, we talk about the 40th year of South Jackson Goes Country, and this is a fundraiser that started when South Jackson was acquired. You know, and over the past 40 years, there's been a lot of changes and a lot of things have happened. We have a new parking lot, but one of the things that's always bothered me is up above the main entrance, up the steps to the beautiful three big brick arches and the three doors up there. Right up above, there's been three of the ugliest windows that you could ever imagine looking at anywhere in the world. Well, this past week, those windows were replaced and dedicated, and they're absolutely beautiful. They're lit up at night. Every night when the sun goes down, they're lit up. Drive by South Jackson and look at them. I was over there for the dedication, and this is the video. This is the window dedication at South Jackson Civic Center, and people are starting to gather. And these windows are going upstairs above the main entrance to South Jackson Civic Center, and it's been years that they've just been blacked out. And Greg Gressel, the chairman of the board, is here, and he's going to make a statement about how this happened, and then we're going to turn the lights on. Right now, you can look up there and you can barely see what's up there, but when they light them up, it's an impressive thing, and it's a wonderful addition to the outside of South Jackson Civic Center and a wonderful recognition to the people they're dedicated to.
Thank you all for coming this evening to help us celebrate this occasion. South Jackson Civic Center was formed in 1977 to Save South Jackson, a grassroots effort to halt the destruction of the South Jackson school building. Nestled in the core of the building is Tullahoma's first public school, built in 1886. We opened our doors as South Jackson Civic Center in January of 1979 with our first performance. Our mission is to foster, promote, and engage in cultural, educational, historical, and civic activities. We work to preserve and restore the South Jackson Street Public School building for the use by the community as a civic and performing arts center. Fortunately, we live in a great city that supports the arts. Thank you to our city government for their continued work to save this jewel for Tullahoma and for its future. And to the individuals that give their time and talents to volunteer. Nonprofits would not exist if it were not for community support. And that is why we're here today. We've had a lot of opportunities where we have been the beneficiaries of projects, of community giving. We've had multiple Eagle Scout Award projects and many Girl Scout Gold Award projects that have been done in this building even in the last year. And organizations like that and other individuals have put a lot into helping us make things like this happen. This started with my son Nicholas's Eagle Scout project, and Nicholas built the partitions on the back side with the help and mentorship of RJ Hayes. RJ is here tonight. RJ, thank you. They worked, designed something that would work for us on the inside of the building. The enclosures are wooden, they have doors on them. The two of them decided they needed to lock up because they figured people would want to know our business. So they put locks on them. They designed that, got it built, got it ready. Then approaching A&R Glass about what would it take to remove the old windows that had really become very deteriorated and had lots of issues. What would it take to remove that? And through working with them, our office, our marketing person, A&R Glass, they work together to make sure that we can make that part of it happen. And A&R Glass donated all of the labor, all of the materials, all of the work to make the tempered glass outside new windows that we were able to put up there. So thank you, A&R Glass. He's there. I know he was here. And then after all of that got done, in the middle of all of that, we had our local artist, Barbara Church. She is remarried since her husband had passed away, Cofield. I couldn't think of it for a second there. But his church is stained glass. And some of you have seen her work. She was here at the Arts Alive Festival this past year, has been involved in our arts festival here in Tullahoma for many years, has been in business for over 40 years, designing and creating. And Nicholas and I worked at this particular design of the windows and sent the idea to her after the approval of the board here at South Jackson. And she fell in love with it, loved the design, and got to work making that happen. And so she has created all three of these stained glass windows for us, and through monies that was going to be used through donations and gifts for three families that we're going to recognize here in a minute, and through our memorial fund here at South Jackson. And so her and her husband came, Nicholas came, they helped get them installed. We got them up there. They're not super heavy, but it was really scary taking them up the stairs. Just gonna say. But we got them up there, they got them installed. And then RJ had made contact with Cook Neon Sign, got us involved in that process as well. And Cook Neon Sign here in Tullahoma out on Highway 55 came and designed the lights that you're going to see here in a minute. They installed it all. They provided the labor and all the materials and everything for nothing as a donation for this project. So thank you for being outside. And that's my point. We can't do the things that we do without the help of others and all of those people in our community that have helped make sure that this could happen. And so we're very grateful to them. And tonight, we also want to honor 3 outstanding citizens who have given of their time and their talents to South Jackson as an organization. Alice Ratcliffe, as you know, was very instrumental in saving South Jackson by petitioning local officials to help fund the needed repairs for the building. She even talked them into the money that they were going to use to tear it down, give that to her, and she would take and go out and find more money. She formed the Friends of South Jackson to raise funds to renovate the building, ultimately creating the mission that we continue to work towards today to save this for the performing arts here in Tullahoma. Bob Couch was Tullahoma's local historian who was a strong part of the fiber that wove throughout this community. South Jackson was a beneficiary of much of his knowledge and his generosity throughout the years. He was a strong supporter of the arts and a great volunteer of South Jackson. I know for as many years as I knew him, I don't recall him and Miss Dot not being here for a performance of something that was happening at South Jackson, and she's continued that in his passing. She's made sure that she's here and she's around and supporting the arts. Bob Couch was also the first Eagle Scout in Tullahoma, and so it's really fitting that today we're able to honor him through the latest Eagle Scout project here in Tullahoma. Bob Rhodes has been a part of the South Jackson Civic Center family since the beginning. When you think of hands-on, you think of Bob. Bob Rhodes worked diligently to help from the time the renovations began for the center and continued on right shortly just before his death. If I could go to a wall and say, Bob, what's right here? And he would tell me the schematic of how this took place and what they had to do to make sure this could happen. And he had that mind, he had the understanding. He was a part of that from the beginning, and continued to serve as a vast knowledge for me when I wanted to know how we could do something. He said, well, this is how it is done and what you will need to do in order to make it happen. So right up until the week he died, he talked to me about some of those very things. So we have tremendously benefited from those who have gone before us. And Nicholas, if you'll take your place over there, I'll give you the instruction here in a second.
Hey, Greg?
Yes.
Can I say one word?
Yes.
You know, Sandy and I have been around here a long time. We came and went. But you probably don't know, most of you, that we put on the very first fundraiser for this. In October of 1979, we put on a major haunted house, and this lovely lady was the bride of Frankenstein, and he was Igor, the grave robber, and we raised $2,600 in 2 weekends, and had one heck of a good time doing that, I'll tell you. So we appreciate everything. We feel like we're part of this from the beginning. Even though we went away, we came back, and we do what we can to help.
The community has benefited from these kind of volunteers that have made things happen and these kind of projects happen, and those who have also gone before us. We learn from those who have gone before us. If we truly pay attention, they are still leading us. So tonight, we light these windows as a symbol of the light of leadership and wisdom that they have shown to us. Thank you all. Thank you for your support.
All right, these are the people involved, and on on the left-hand side of the screen here is Florence Hull, Ratcliffe Hull, and all of her family there. And
Candy and Fran.
Then there's Sally Rhodes sitting next to her.
Where are they at?
And Dot Couch sitting next to her. And then there's Sally's daughter back there, and there's Fran and Candy Couch, and Catherine Hopkins, whose mother was Cersei Couch, Bob's sister. And then there's Bob's other sister over there, Dot Watson, and Lane Curley Mayer, celebrating the new windows that are alive and well above the main entrance of South Jackson Civic Center. And there are the windows up there. And here are the people that are being honored and some other honored guests. So congratulations to all involved. Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department. Need you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street. Heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back. I'm so happy to be on the set today with some of my favorite people in this whole wide world. Cindy Sneed and her husband Mike Sneed. Mike Sneed's been on South Jackson Goes Country. How many years? South Jackson Goes Country?
36, I counted up. Me and Melissa counted up the other
almost
night.
as long as I have. Because it started in 1979, and you came on board pretty soon after and saved the show, and it kept us afloat.
Right.
Anyway, today we're going to talk a little bit about a beautiful quilt that Mike and Cindy have put together for a fundraiser for South Jackson Goes Country, and we're going to show a few of those slides right now. Cindy, can you kind of tell what the slides are about once he starts showing them?
I'd be happy to.
If he would just start that now. There we go.
Okay, so what we've done is we have taken all types of representation. We have some t-shirts that are in this quilt, but we, in order to make it a queen size, which it is, we had to add some embroidered pieces. And this piece right here represents our square dancers at South Jackson Goes Country. And then the guitars and the hats and the fiddle up there, we have lots of those throughout the quilt to represent all the musicians that have come before and they're currently still there.
And you see sponsors.
Yes, on all the quilts we have we hope
we have all the sponsors.
Sponsors are very important. South Jackson Goes Country.
Yes, sir. I have 12 t-shirts that I was able to use. That's the fox room.
That fox was drawn by my son, Bart Burton.
Yes.
And I found it laying on the desk when he went into Iraq Baghdad, and he had left it at home. So I picked it up, and it's become our logo.
Well, that is embroidered, and it's almost in the center of the quilt there. That's the large one, and then I have several others on the top and the bottom of the quilt. But you'll see on the side there, beside the fox rune, this represents Sadie Gruesome, who's very important to our show. Riding the Pig. Well, Piggy's Place was the first advertisement, at my understanding, ever sold 40 years ago to South Jackson Goes Country, and that's the first commercial every year. And so that's why we have the pink pig on there to represent the very, very beginnings of South Jackson Goes Country. And then here we have our banjo. This guitar over the blue guitar there, that's a Stratocaster.
Yeah.
And then over here we have the telephone, and that's in representation of Melissa Sharan and all the comedy that goes on in the show.
Ernestine.
Ernestine. One ringy dingy, two ringy dingies. You'll notice her do a commercial every year. She'll be out there going one ringy dingy, two ringy dingies. And so that's representative of her. The little tea glass there, you can't really tell. That says raised on sweet tea and Jesus. Now, you know, we live in the South. How can you not have that on a quilt? So
I love the materials that you used for your quilt. You use really, really expensive material, I know.
I do. I use top of the line. I go to fabric shops to get my material
so
because we want it
forever.
to last. We do. We don't want those colors fading. We don't want the embroidery fading. So this is the bottom of the quilt. And Mikey has this, if you'll notice the bars and rails sometimes on the top, sometimes on the bottom. He has this on his quilting machine. He's in the process of actually quilting this right now. But on the top and the bottom, I've taken all the t-shirts that had dates. On the top, it starts at 2009 and goes to 2013. And then on the bottom, it goes from 2014 to 2018. And so it's a t-shirt with a date and a fox room, and a t-shirt with a date and a fox room. So that's all across the border. And then, of course, we have light tube, and then that's a guitar on there. And then the jeans, anytime you see jean denim fabric on this, that's because that's from Mikey Sneed's overalls.
I love it.
We had to have
the ones I'm wearing.
No. And so, but that right there says celebrating 40 years of, I can't quite read that, picking and grinning, dancing and singing and laughing and loving.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's what we're celebrating.
That's beautiful.
So that right there, the white is from Peggy Burton's t-shirt, one that she donated for us. And then, of course, light tube. And then we have the, again, we have the boots and the hat up there.
So every little piece that you put into it represent, what is that
This
one?
right here represents John and Fran Gray.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, so John is our MC, but I'll tell you, a few years ago, John and Fran were up there dancing. They did a segment where they danced. And it was one of the most beautiful, memorative things. I have that in my head just so clearly of them up there dancing. And when I saw that, I said, well, that's going to go up there to represent John and Fran.
Yeah, and the Queen's Wave.
Yes, and the Queen's Wave.
Right. That little pair of overalls there.
Yes, thank God I'm a country boy. I mean, I think that just fits right in the South Jackson.
Yeah, it's been on the stage several times.
Yep. And then over, this is at the top of the quilt, and the one piece there says South Jackson Goes Country, 1979 to 2019.
Which is 40 long years, short actually, when I stop and think about it.
Yeah.
And this show is coming up the 9th, 10th, and 11th. And if you haven't got your tickets yet, go to www.southjackson.org or call 931-455-5321. I like this. That's nice.
This right here represents all the young people that have come, that have been raised on South Jackson. There's so many young people that are transitioning from children into young adults and then become adults. This piece right here is representative of all those young transitioners, I'll call them. But that's why this piece is in there, you know, and they're on the stool back in the back every year. You have the stools, and so that's what that piece right there represents.
It's important for everybody to know that we will have dancing out on the grounds. We're going to have a different group this year because people have grown up and moved on. But everything will be open starting at 6 o'clock. Food will be sold in the. Here's Mikey working.
in his quilt shop.
That's pretty amazing. How long do you think it's taken to make this quilt? How many hours would you say?
I've worked on this quilt. So when we got the quilt, we were going to do a t-shirt quilt, but there weren't quite enough t-shirts to make a queen size quilt. So Mikey and I discussed, what we would do. So then we had to go online and choose all of the appropriate embroidery pieces to do. I would say easily that Mikey and I will have put in about 3.5 weeks, solid weeks on this by the time
24
we're
hours
through.
a day, right?
Well, it's been a lot of work. It's been
Yeah.
a lot of work. But
Yeah.
that's just because it's the first time I've ever done a piece quite like this. And so the design of it was very important, and to make sure that everything flowed together and all the colors worked together. So
Yeah, I think
that's what took a
people
little bit longer.
need to understand it's a queen size.
Queen size.
And it's made of quality materials. So it's going to last a long time.
Forever, I hope.
Are y'all willing to make one for other people if they want to pay up?
We will. We will. And all they have to do is talk to us. We'll have all the information out at the show of how to get in touch with us, and if you want
That's
to, we'll do
great.
different size quilts
Yeah.
and what have you. So.
Well, it's a wonderful project, and it takes an artist to do what you have done.
Oh, thank
and a
you.
lot of love and a lot of devotion.
We've loved doing it. Both of us have loved doing this project.
And now I'm having it. Now it's my turn to have fun with it. She's had her time.
And you're doing
but-
this-
Yeah, but now it's my turn to have
How long
fun
will
with
that
it.
take?
I
Weeks?
figure I've got another 24 hours
Okay.
to put into
Well,
it.
I know it's not time goes so fast, but I cannot say how grateful I am for the things that you people have done for me and for South Jackson.
Oh,
We hope to see you at the country show.
Yes.
9, 10, and 11 of August. We're gone.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family caring for your family since 1932.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Hello, everyone. Again, I'm John Rickman. And this is Pat Welch, and we are here for segment number 14 of the Conversations of John and Pat. I've got a little song picked out today. Both of us have been married for a long time, Pat. And this is... we're going to date ourselves. June will make me number 40. Well, and me this year, 49. Wow. Long time. And this is a little song, and don't anybody get this wrong. This has the little word in there about the old dog dying. That's nothing. There's been an adage that's gone around for years. Life begins when the kids leave home and the old dog dies. I've heard that since I was a youngster. Now, for people who are really worried about animals and this sort of thing, I can see where it might send a little shiver over you, but I just took an old adage and made this little song out of it. Honey, I've been thinking it won't be very long. Our children will be leaving to start families of their own. I ain't saying I don't miss them. Lord knows that'd be untrue. but the good Lord knows I need to spend some time alone with you. When the kids leave home and the old dog dies, when the baby finally marries and moves out of the house, we'll have more time to love each other all the rest of our lives. When the kids leave home and the old dog dies. Remember before children how our life used to be. I had time for you and you had time for me. Our kids have been a blessing and the old dog's been a friend. I look forward to the day when it's just me and you again. When the kids leave home and the old dog dies, when the baby finally marries and moves out of the house, we'll have more time to love each other all the rest of our lives. When the kids leave home and the old dog dies. Thank you, thank you. Wasn't that great? Thank you. We've been married a long time, and you know, cumulative, John, we're 89 years of absolutely blessed and idyllic marriage. Well, I wouldn't hardly say that. Sometimes there are little rifts come up in the family, but just small bumps. small bumps. But you are, your kids have left home, and mine have too, and so that's where we are right now. I've still got a dog and a cat, and don't want to give them up, either one of them, John. But we've had a big time since the kids left. What's our subject matter today, Pat? Well, we talked, this would be our first topic that we would have kind of doubled up on. Mm-hmm. And that was, you brought up George Orr, who was mayor of Tullahoma for a while and had grown up in Chapel Hill, and we told a story about him in high school about having to play a half of a football game last week without his shoulder pads. And this week I thought I might go further and talk about one incident of his first term of political office. When George ran, unfortunately, John, I was an alderman about one of the times that while he was mayor, and that was a meeting with George that George running was always going to have some kind of excitement in it. But when he was first elected and when I was serving, there was a huge problem with our quality of water in Tullahoma. We had just got off of Short Springs as a source of water, which was really nice, really good tasting water, but it wasn't plentiful enough for the population that was coming, and we had to change to Normandy. And there's nothing wrong with the Normandy water then, except the chemical was different, and it had a complete reaction with old plumbing in most of the houses in Tullahoma at the time, and it turned it dark and so forth, and it smelled, and people were really, really upset about it. And it didn't matter if Tullahoma was had the economic benefits #1 in America at the time. Nobody was going to be happy till we got the water straightened out. So George was looking into that, and eventually it was taken care of. And Randall Breaker, that's at Duck River now, was the manager that they brought in, and it's been good ever since. Mm-hmm. But the main problem ends up is that when the temperature of the lake changes with the seasons, the water changes out, and what's really on top goes to the bottom, and the bottom comes up, and when it does this, there's some kind of chemical deal takes place towards the middle, and there was a lot of manganese there. And when that took place, and the intake valve was in that area, so it's bringing in this manganese. It lasted for about 2 or 3 weeks, and it had a kind of a red cast to it. And if somebody did a load of whitewash during the wrong period, now it was stained, looked like iodine, and that was a great source of irritation until and Mr. Breaker has solved it. But to get back to the story, George kept hours at City Hall prescribed every week, and he was there and generally did a really good job with public relations there. You could come in mad and he'd make, it was a kind of a challenge to him to make sure that you left pleased. Well, a lady came in, and she was a large lady, and I told you, John, before we got here that, again, we want to make sure that we never say anything that embarrasses our mothers, and I've had to really work on euphemisms and how I tell this story so we don't do that. But she was a big lady, and she had a shopping bag full of laundry that had been stained, and it was white laundry, and she absolutely berated George over the water, and then poured the bag all on his desk. All this was undergarments were stacked in there. And again, remember I said that she was really big, and she picked up an undergarment for a female that would normally be worn above the waist, and she shook it in his face and said, of course it was iodine stain, it looked like it was pink instead of white, and she shook it in his face and said, "Just look at this, Mr. Mayor. Would your wife wear this?" And he said, "I doubt it, but I certainly wish she could." And that absolutely, there were some people in City Hall there that heard it, and it just absolutely just came to a roar, and it really took her back and kind of diffused the situation. It lightened the moment. It lightened the moment. She put everything back in her bag, thanked him, and left. That may be one of Tullahoma's political and governmental highlights. Well, Pat, a good story. Yeah, and we're getting a signal, I think. This John. is number 14. Number 14. Yeah. This is segment number 14, and that concludes today. But it is not the end of the conversations, as long as management will allow us to continue.
Management's happy. Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the paint. Uh-oh. I just knocked a tree over. This is the paint doctor. I got the color wheel. Now, you know what a color wheel is? It is the wheel at the paint works where you pick all your colors to paint your room. It could be a multicolored beard. It could be a underarm fan. You never can tell. One thing we do know is that it's time to paint. You know, you can make your wife very happy if you go to your house and paint some rooms, or you paint the outside of the house, the inside of the house. It makes them feel very good because you work hard for them, and they like that. All women like to see their man sweat. You know, they do. Honeydew is what they do. And you get to do it too. So you go to the paint works at 1960 North Washington Street, and you see David Ikonen over there, and he's the real paint doctor. He fixes you up with color. It's so nice when the color is right. Go to Paintworks today. Martin Senor. See? Martin Senor. Right there. Martin Senor at the Paintworks. Bye, and we see you next time. I'm burning up.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
just thank you for putting a wonderful, sharp, contrasted picture on the screen. That's the way the viewers like to have it. And thank you, John, for that nice introduction. It's always a pleasure to be here and share a few wonderful thoughts that might be of interest, and hopefully will be. Today, we've had some inquiries and some suggestions to do a little thing on one of Tullahoma's long landmarks. And this is not the City Hall or the Waterworks or the Water Tower or the depot, but you remember a wonderful, wonderful place at 121 North Atlantic Street, the old famous Candy Kitchen that brings back a lot of wonderful memories to a whole lot of people. And the Candy Kitchen was located at the place where currently the Tennessee Shoe Repair shop is, and it's same spot, same building. It's been modified and changed a whole lot in all these years. But as our thoughts go back to the Candy Kitchen, that's exactly what it was. They had a big kitchen in the very back part of that building where they made candy. And I don't know who the first worker was, or candy maker was, or even the first owner was, but I do remember there was a fellow by the name of Mr. Martin that I think was part of Avoca, the Knights of Pythias orphanage at Avoca for a number of years, and he operated the Candy Kitchen. And the last candy maker that I knew and watched him make candy there was George Cooley, and he had a great big copper kettle in the back part there, and I think he had bottled gas to fire it, and he would open up a big bag of sugar and pour in that bright copper kettle, and it would melt, and then he'd put chocolate and caramel in it, and then top it off with peanuts. And after it got stirred up real good, he had a wooden paddle that he stirred his candy ingredients with, and a big marble top workbench or table, and he would spread that mixture out on that marble table, and it was peanut brittle, and oh, it smelled so good and tasted so good. And then, of course, when it cooled down, why, it was hard, and he'd put it in wax paper in the trays that he would display it with in the showcase up front. And he'd make taffy, and he'd make divinity, and he'd make fudge, and you could just smell that, and oh, it was so good. And if you just made a batch of it and there were customers in there, he'd bring out a little bit of all his makings and let them sample it to tell them whether it was good or not. And besides that part of the building, or the part of operation, there was the soda fountain that was up front on the left as you went in the door, and they had the marble top tables with the wide-back chairs there that people really enjoyed coming in and having refreshments and sandwiches and sodas and sundaes, and of course Cokes were a nickel then, as were other soft drinks at the soda fountain. And I think a cherry Coke was a dime, but and chocolate milkshakes with several dips of good ice cream in there were 20 and 25 cents. Other people that owned and operated the Candy Kitchen was the McManus family. Lived on East Grundy Street. They had a son, Lonnie, and a couple of daughters, and they operated the Candy Kitchen for a long time. And it was so much fun to go to Candy Kitchen for a Coke, and then go down to the Strand Theater for a good movie, come back up and have a soda or a sandwich or something. And it was a lot of fun being in there. They had a big magazine rack, sold all the current magazines, and they even had one of the late additions was a pinball machine. And I mean that Mr. Coleman, I think J.L. Coleman, had the pinball machine there. And between the front of the Candy Kitchen and the kitchen itself in the rear part, they expanded a room there and put 6 booths, 3 on each side, and Mr. Coleman put a jukebox in the back there. And this was in the late 30s, and it was called a Nickelodeon, which was the same as a jukebox, but had all the latest numbers on the hit parade on it, and each number was a nickel, or you could get six records for a quarter, and that was a lot of fun. And they put a hardwood floor in there, and it was just right for dancing, the foxtrot or the swing, and it was just so much fun being in there. Later, I think the old family operated it for a while, and then a fellow by the name of Norton Williams operated it for a while, and Mr. Bob Good from Columbia had it for a year or two early when Camp Forrest was here. But the Candy Kitchen was the place for all the teenagers to meet after school or after a football game, and they sold no beer there, and it was just a place where to come and have a good time, and such fond memories. We have a real good landmark there. Later, it was the first Kroger store was there, and Daddy Billy, my grandfather, had Couch's grocery store, and next to him was Kroger's, and next to Kroger's was H.G. Hill Company, and then there was the Strand Theater. But those businesses stayed real busy for a long, long time, and my hat's off to the memories of the Candy Kitchen, where we had so much fun as teenagers. Hopefully somebody would maybe establish a place like that now, where the youngsters could go and have a soda fountain and could dance and do the sock hop or whatever they wanted to do. I think it would be a great thing. And that's not the end of the story by any means, because there's a whole lot more to come. And we sure do thank you for watching, and we hope you have a good day.
Barnett here at Russell Barnett Kia in Tullahoma. Check out the 2019 fully loaded V6 Kia Sorento, up to $6,400 off original MSRP. That's Russell Barnett Kia in Tullahoma, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. And remember, why buy anywhere else?
My wife Jackie has always been the life of the party, but things changed when she couldn't be as active anymore.
They told me I needed a double knee replacement.
It's not as big a deal as it used to be, but she still needed to go to rehab.
I was amazed at how good the therapists were at Life Care. They took really good care of me.
They took excellent care of her. And now she's back doing the things she loves, and that makes everyone happy.
Life Care Center of Tullahoma wants you to get active and live well.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
All right, we're back, and we are here to remind you again that Thursday night is the Ice Cream Social at South Jackson Civic Center.
And come bring your dancing shoes, or don't bring your dancing shoes. Just come and enjoy. I think they're going to have drinks for sale, and the ice cream is
Ice Cream Distillery, which is downtown. It's the new ice cream shop downtown. Ice Cream Distillery is featured. Their ice cream is featured, and you pay $10 and you get ice cream, and you get to listen to some beautiful music.
You get to dance, and I have some great soloists coming to sing with the band. Greg Gressel is going to sing, Amy Beckstead, Jeanette
Jeanette.
Jeanette. I'm
Jeanette.
She's in. And there's another, Jerry Anderson. I'll sing a couple of songs But anyway,
my old buddy Jerry's going to sing. I love old Jerry. He's a great guy.
Anyway, we have a great band. Alan Johnson is our director now, and he's doing a wonderful job. And I have to say, we really appreciate him. Ann Baldwin will be there on the piano.
Oh, wonderful.
Jim Fitzgerald and Scott Young are from here in Tullahoma. Charlie Hickerson from Tullahoma, Tyler. There's so many I can't name them all.
Yeah, sure, of course not. Yeah, how many pieces are usually in the band? 20?
About 20, yeah.
I mean, that's great for a small town like this to have a 20-piece orchestra.
5 saxophones, 4 trombones, 4 trumpets, drums, guitar, bass, piano, and then vocalists. So, yeah,
now,
to keep that going for a lot of years is a challenge.
Well, how many years have you been doing that, Peggy?
Well, I quit teaching school part-time, early 90s, I think, and then I started singing with this group. But I've been singing with combos and bands for a long time.
But I mean, the South Jackson Street
Band.
Yeah,
I think it was the early 90s.
Early
probably,
90s, so it's almost 20 years?
Long time.
No, 30, almost 30 years.
30 years.
Almost 30 years.
So,
well, what we're going to do right now, folks, is we're going to take you to a little bit of video of the South Jackson Street Band.
Hope you'll show up, 7 o'clock dance class.
Yeah, and then we'll be back after that to promote some more.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, no, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Thank y'all for playing those.
Oh yeah, yeah, and you know we were just talking while that was going on. You know, Greg Heineke and his family have done a great deal down there, great things down there in Bell Buckle, and that's such a nice hall down there. It's a great place to have an event.
It's a fabulous place. It really is, and every time I go, it's something new.
Yeah.
They're always expanding and always their menu is wonderful. It's a great place.
Of course, there's the Bell Buckle Cafe up there, but he also has a commercial kitchen in the banquet hall.
Right.
So, I mean, they can prepare food for as many as you want to bring down there.
Exactly.
And then Tory Taft has the tea room up in the clothing store.
Have you ever had tea at the tea room?
No, I'm not having tea at the tea room.
Ann Baldwin took some of us there one day.
They need a Scotch room is what they need.
Yeah.
Greg needs to open a whiskey and cigar room. Then I'll go.
Oh, that's a thought.
Then I'll go. Hey, folks, we've got to leave. Hope you've enjoyed today's show.
We hope to see you Thursday at the Ice Cream
we'll see
Social.
you. Ice Cream Distillery. Get you some. It's good. See you next time.